Hello, 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 and welcome to round two of the Misfits Racing League. It's MRL Season 2, Canadian Grand Prix. And I am extremely excited for today's race, as it is, of course, my home circuit. A couple things to look for on this circuit. Couple DRS detection zones. There's actually, I do believe, three of them on this circuit. One coming out of the 6-7-8 chicane, and then you have the 8-9 chicane DRS detection zone going onto the back straight, and then you have one on the pit straight. But enough talking about it. We'll go on board with Mikhail as he takes us through a circuit guide of the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another circuit guide for Misfits Racing League Season 2. Round 2 is going to be held in Montreal, Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix. And with us once again to take us around the circuit is Mikhail, as we go on board with him for his circuit guide lap. Let's check it out.
Hello everyone, my name is Mikhail, and today I'll take you around a lap of the Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal, Canada. Just about to start the lap. Down the pit straight, DRS open, 7th gear. Heading to turn 1, you want to shift down to 3rd gear, take as much curb as you can. Down to 1st for turn 2, short shift up to 2nd. So stop the wheel spin, turn 3, very easy to invalidate here. You want to take as much curb as you can. Through turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. Down to 3rd or 2nd gear, really your choice there. And now to turn 8, rev out in 7th gear. Quickly down to 3rd to get the rotation. Through turn 9, we're heading to the hairpin. Heavy on the brakes, 1st gear, you want to clip the apex, short shift up to 2nd, and then up to 3rd again to prevent the wheel spin. Now down the main straight, through turns 11 and 12, which are basically non-existent. And as we head towards the infamous Wall of Champions, break the 100-meter board, 4th gear, clip the orange sides of the curbing, try to get a good exit, and that is a lap around the Gilles Villeneuve circuit.
Thank you very much to Mikhail for helping us once again with another circuit guide here for round 2. Now, looking at the calendar, of course, Abu Dhabi last week, what a fantastic race we had in Abu Dhabi. This week, we see round 2 in Canada, and to take a look at the calendar moving ahead, we have France, Austria, Spain, Russia, Brazil, Germany, Britain, and to top things off for the 10th and final race of the season, you have Italy, the Temple of Speed in Monza, of course. Take a look at the teams that are going to be racing in the league today. In the Ferrari, we have Zamajo and Ruben. In the Haas, Mikhail and Skybits. In the Renault, you have Falcon 9 and Chappers. In the Mercedes, it's Fubar and Custom, although I do believe Fubar will be not attending this evening. May have a reserve to take his place. We will see. Samus and Undertaker take up the seats in the Alfa Romeos this evening. Sneaky and Ricky back in Red Bull. Neon Rays and Henry are going to be in the Williams. Yoda and Jean in the McLaren, BTFU 15 and Waitis in the Toro Rosso, and hopefully Bear Gaming's available this week as he missed last week, but it will be him and Tupaka in the Racing Point. Take a look at the standings after one round here of MRL action. Couple things to note before I get into it. Recycle Finn and Persian King, currently holding 1st and 10th positions in the standings, are reserve drivers. So those points that they collected will not actually impact the constructors' standings. So just to note that moving forward. But other than that, you have Recycle Finn in the lead as a reserve right now with 26 points. He took the race win and the fastest lap of the campaign in Abu Dhabi last week. Yoda in 2nd with 18 points. Samus in 15th. In 3rd with 15 points. Falcon is 4th with 12 points. Sneaky, 10 points. Ricky, 8 points. Neon Rays has 6 points. Zamajo with 4 points. BTFU with 2 points. And Persian King at the bottom of the standings there in 10th with that single little point there. Now, 11 positions 11 through 20, unfortunately, have not scored points yet this season. It is only one race into the season so far, so that will definitely fluctuate as we move through the rounds coming up ahead. Now, on to the constructor standings. Like I had just mentioned, the driver points for reserves do not contribute to the constructors. So that leaves McLaren and Red Bull currently tied for first position with 18 points apiece. Alfa Romeo comes around in third with 15 points total. Renault with 12 points. Williams with 6 in the fifth slot there. Ferrari, sixth position in the constructors at the moment with 4 points. Toro Rosso with 2 points. Mercedes, Haas, and Racing Point all unfortunately yet to score points. Now, as we are looking to hopefully get ready here into the game, just going to adjust something really quick. Get my sound back. Fantastic. As we're back in the pit lane, getting ready for qualification. 18-minute qualifying session ahead of a 50% race. We have 18 drivers. Once again, we'll go down the list. We have Ricky Ciardo in Red Bull, Yoda in the McLaren, Undertaker in the Alfa Romeo. Neon Rays takes up his seat in Williams. Zamajo in the Ferrari, the fastest in preseason qualification. BTFU in the Toro Rosso alongside his teammate Waitis. Samus in the other Alfa Romeo. Skybits in the Haas. Sanchez is going to be reserving in Mercedes today. Tupaka in the Racing Point Falcon in one Renault. Custom in the other Mercedes as well. Chappers finishes out the two drivers for Renault. Mikau in the other Haas. Sneaky in the Red Bull. Little Bear in the Racing Point, and then Henry in that Williams as he leads the pack out of the pits here. Very eager to get things going. We'll go on board with him on his out lap. Actually, I quite like this view better, if I do say so. See all the fans in the stands there. So as we follow Henry around on his hot lap here in just a few moments, I'll take you through the circuit. I know we did see a bit of a circuit guide there before the stream began, but I will take you through one more time just so we have a good idea of what some of the drivers are going to be looking out for moving through their laps here in Canada. So one of the biggest things these drivers have to worry about is, of course, this 13-14 turn Wall of Champions chicane, that Wall of Champions on the right-hand side there. Very important to keep yourself out of that wall and at the same time keep yourself from invalidating your lap. As we can see here on the track map, Henry has done just that. As he comes now through sectors 1 and 2, moving down this short little straight period, down into the 3-4 chicane. Again, another area you want to take a lot of curbing, but be mindful about not running those tires off the circuit. You can take a lot of penalties in that zone. As we move up to 4, 5, 6, very, very tight on the curbing. He's going to pull over now, as that is, I do believe, Mikau flying by him. Will jump onto his onboard as he moves down through the 8-9 chicane, taking lots of curbing there. It's possible he may have invalidated there on that inside curb. He didn't, though, so very, very fortunate for him as he moves down into the turn 10 hairpin. Turn 10 hairpin can get a little hairy if there's a lot of traffic, but otherwise it's a fairly simple hairpin turn here on Canada as we move through turn 11 and 12 up in this back straight area, down the main straight into the 13-14 Wall of Champions. They're important not to invalidate. They're extremely important, and it looks like Mikau has kept it clean on his first hot lap of the session. He comes across with a pole position, a 108.356 for the Haas driver. Ricky in the Red Bull comes across second fastest here in the Red Bull, so he'll be happy about that. Falcon 109.420. Zamajo snatching provisional pole here so far in the Ferrari, 107.96 for the time. He's absolutely flying here in Montreal. Samus, though, in the Alfa Romeo jumps onto the grid with a 109.175. His first lap of the session. Very, very nice from him. He'll be happy about that, I'm sure. Falcon, like I mentioned before, he had that 109.420. Ricky, a 109.777. Skybits, sixth fastest for the moment. 110.433 the time. Chappers, 119.9. That has got to be a warm-up lap, as he will be looking to improve that by a mile, I'm sure, soon enough. So far, out of the 18 drivers on grid, we have only had 8 drivers qualify so far. Excuse me, 9 drivers. So that's Henry coming across on his first qualifying lap. He runs a 1:10.038. Yoda now in that McLaren, now exiting the pits. He is without a teammate today, as Jean isn't able to attend the race. Wadis on a flyer now will go on board with him as he looks to complete his first flyer of the session. Wadis up into P6 for the Toro Rosso squad, just ahead of his teammate BTFU. So it's a 6 and 7 for BTFU and Wadis at the moment, and the Toro Rosso squad. Very, very nice from him, or them, I should say. Neon Rays a 111.1 in the Williams on the hards. Tupaka a 112.255 in the Racing Point on hards. He comes into the pits now. Chappers looks like he is on a flyer, or is this an outlap? Definitely going to be an outlap from the Renault driver as he looks to warm things up here. Yoda now in the McLaren on his flying lap of the session. He'll be looking to jump ahead into the top 6, I'm sure. As he moves down into the 8-9 chicane. Lots of curbing there, very, very neat and tidy as he moves his way down to the hairpin, turn 10. Trying to catch some of that inside curbing. Very, very clean exit here from the McLaren as he'll move down through turn 12. DRS open. Very, very long on the 7th gear there, getting the maximum revs possible, moving down through 13-14 chicane, Wall of Champions. And it's a 109.082 up into the second row of the grid. He is P3 in the McLaren on his first flying lap of the session. Very, very nice from Yoda. As we make our way down the list now, looking for a driver on a hot lap, it looks like Sneaky getting some warm-up laps in here on the softs. He's driven multiple laps now, could be into the pits here, and he is. Sneaky going to have to be very careful this time around on Canada, as last season we saw a very, very unfortunate collision between him and a couple of the other drivers on pit entry. The pit entry hits you very, very fast here in Canada, so all drivers are going to be wanting to be aware of that. Chappers still not flying here, as it looks like he's just driving those softs into the ground here. He has set a 110.4, a massive improvement on the 119 that he had on the board earlier. As a couple other drivers move into the mix, Sneaky with that 110 flat, custom a 109.9 in the Mercedes. BTFU, his first lap of the session was on the medium compound. As you can see now, he's back out on softs. So he will be looking to improve his time once he begins his lap. His teammate now leaving the pits, looking to get another lap in, as we have 10 minutes remaining here in short qualification. Wade is pulling over outside of turn 2 here to allow flyers to move by. Macau on another flyer here, looking to improve his 108.356. He wants to take pole position from the Ferrari. Let's see if he can do it as he comes down through turn 7. Down into the 8-9 chicane he goes. Lots of curbing there, very clean. Ooh, a little bit of a brush there with the Wall of Champions coming out of the turn 14 exit. He does improve his time by a 10th, though. So, very, very nice from him to improve there. Unfortunately, still in P2, not what he wanted. Little Bear looks like he's on an outlap in the racing point. Falcon now on a flyer. Undertaker doing a nice job of pulling over there for the Renault driver. Down through the 3-4 chicane. Ooh, a little bit of a brush with the front right there is Falcon as he comes out through turn 5. Up into the 6-7 zone now. DRS wide open as he jumps into 7th gear, moving down into the 8-9 chicane. Maybe a little too much curving there. No, it looks like he kept the lap clean, as he's improved by 1/10 through sector 2, down to the hairpin now. Looking fairly clean through that hairpin. And he dives into the pits now. BTFU still on an outlap. It's possible that he had to abort due to some damage. Take a look at the front end of that Toro Rosso as he comes down now the back straight. No wing damage, but he is going to end up in the pits regardless. Ricky not flying that I can tell. Henry on a flyer though, as he's just set a purple sector 2. Moving down the back straight of sector 3 now. DRS wide open, 8th gear revving out down into Wall of Champions. Very clean exit through Wall of Champions. There is the Williams driver of Henry. He has hit his deployment limit, but he jumps into 3rd position in the Williams, a 109 flat. Very, very nice from Henry as he moves up ahead of the McLaren that is Yoda. And there's a retirement out on track. I do believe that is Little Bear. Not too sure where he is on the circuit at the moment, as he is retired here. Not sure where he was when he may or may not have crashed. If anybody is able to confirm what happened with Little Bear, I would greatly appreciate that, as he is now out of the qualifying session. He did set a 109.398, though. He is in P7 for the time being. We'll see if anybody else can improve and knock him back a couple of places. That is Chappers flying by. The Haas of Skybits. As I was talking about invalidations earlier on stream, it is very easy to invalidate here in Canada. There are a couple of areas to do it. The 3-4 chicane, very, very notorious invalidation turn, as well as the the 6-7. I can't speak today. I can't speak. The 6-7 chicane and the 8-9 chicane, and of course the 13-14 Wall of Champions chicane. Canada, if you can't tell by me just describing it, is quite a chicane-dominated circuit. But very fun to drive nonetheless. If you were in my position, I love this circuit very, very much. Falcon on a flyer now as he comes through turn 7. Losing track of where things are on circuit. 8-9 chicane now. Purple sector 2 for the Renault. Falcon jumps ahead of Henry with a 108.798, moving up into P3. So that knocks Henry back down to 4th. things lining up right now. You have Zamajo and Mikau on the front row, Falcon and Henry on the second row, Yoda and Samus on the third row, Wadis and Little Bear on the fourth row, and Sneaky and BTFU on the fifth row. Sanchez in the Mercedes now leaving the pits as he's invalidated. He's been having a very difficult time getting a lap set here as he comes down into the pits. Zamajo now on his out lap. Mikau is on his way out of the pits now. Hopefully looking to improve on that 108.257. Zamajo flying down the back straight now, very fast through that 13-14 section. DRS wide open, 8th gear now into turn 2, turn 1, sorry. No, he keeps it in 7th. Purple sector 1 from Zamajo as he looks to improve his already monstrous time of a 107.850. Making the Ferraris look very good here on circuit today. As his teammate Ruben unable to make the session. And Zamajo aborts that lap, not too sure why. A lot of drivers struggling here in qualification. With invalidated laps. As Henry has retired off to the side. Falcon now flying, looking to improve on his P3. Cow retires his car here as Falcon, purple sector 2. He's going to be looking for a monster lap here to take down Mikau. Very nice through that 13-14 chicane. I'm not too sure who that was on circuit going the wrong way. But Falcon does improve his time, a 108.558, but not enough to take down Mikau. As it looks like BTFU jumps into P5 here. And Yoda into P4. So that rounds up the qualifying, I was going to say the first qualifying session, but the only qualifying session ahead of the Grand Prix here. Zamajo takes pole position in Ferrari with a 107.850. Very nice lap from him. Mikau in second, Falcon third, Yoda in fourth, BTFU fifth, Henry in sixth, Samus is seventh in the Alpha, Wadis is eighth in the other Toro Rosso, Ricky is ninth, Sneaky in 10th. The Red Bulls very close together once again here. Little Bear, first race of the season in that Racing Point, he's 11th, Skybits in the Haas is 12th, Neon Rays 13th, Tupaka in 14th, Custom is 15th, Undertaker 16th, Choppers 17th, and Sanchez at the back of the grid with no time set in 18th. All drivers now confirming their race strategies. They are ready to go on circuit. There is a formation lap ahead of the race, so we will get to have one last look at all of these drivers getting their tires warm before the action really starts to kick off. Remember, if you are new to the stream, be sure to hit that follow button to know when we go live with our next league race. Usually we are live with the MRL on Thursdays at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter as well with links down below to that. Very happy to see the formation lap here, as last week we had a bit of an error, no formation laps. So, take a look at the tire compounds on the grid right now. Drivers 1 through 8, all on the softs. Ricky on the mediums in 9th there. Sneaky and Little Bear both on softs. And then you see Skybits, Neon, and Tupaka on the mediums. Custom on softs. Undertaker, mediums as well. Choppers and Sanchez on the softs as well. So there are a few different strategies out on circuit at the moment. Some of these drivers, if not all of these drivers, more than likely going to be going for a two-stop here. Tire degradation can be severe in Canada, especially on those soft tires. So we could see a soft, medium, medium, or a soft, medium, soft. A couple different strategies at play here in Canada. Only time will tell what these drivers do, as safety car is also a possibility due to the Wall of Champions. Of course, a reminder to all of the drivers, if anybody is tuning in that is participating in the race, take it easy down into turn 1 and 2, and of course 3, 4 chicane. Those things can get pretty tricky here on the opening laps in Montreal. Of course, if there is a safety car, a reminder to all drivers to make sure your tires are warm and your brakes hot when moving down into turn 1 as well, as you don't want to get caught out there. You need to treat it like it's a fresh race start. Zamajo now rounding the final corner here, Wall of Champions. That's the 13-14 chicane. Keep a close eye on that through the stream, as I'm predicting it may catch a couple of drivers off here throughout the race. Fortunately for everybody, though, it is a dry race, as drivers now make their way to their final starting positions here on the grid. Drivers have their engines started now. Five lights on, and we're racing here in Montreal. We have a beautiful view down to turn 1 here. So far, everything clean. Red Bull going off a little wide there. Not too much contact as we make our way through turn 2 here. So far, everybody away clean. Mikau up into the lead in the Haas with a fast move on the race, or pole sitter Zamajo. Mikau now leading this race down through sections 6 and 7. Falcon behind them, watching the action unfold now. As we look at the grid come through. Not too much damage for all of these drivers. Ooh, and there's some debris. That, I do believe, is Custom moving down into the 8-9 chicane. He pushes off the Racing Point a little wide there as he's bounced with the wall. Yellow flag through sector 2 from that. Otherwise, all of these drivers getting off relatively clean here. Waitis has dropped back a very large amount. Doesn't look like he has any wing damage on the front of that car. Could just be taking it easy through this opening lap here, waiting to see the fallout. Mikal down into 13, 14, still in lead of this race. Zamajo gaining very, very rapidly here. Mikal crosses the line, 1:15.9. Down through turn 2 now. You can see Zamajo wants to catch that Haas very, very bad. Mikal very competitive here on the Canadian circuit. A little bit of grass there for the Ferrari driver as we move up through 6 and 7 now. Look at how tight he is on the rear of that Haas. We're going to jump on board with him in just a moment. Falcon dropping back now, as there is a great battle here in the lead of this race right at the beginning. It's the Ferrari versus the Ferrari-powered Haas. Coming down into the turn 10 hairpin now. Zamajo sticking with Mikal. Mikal, you can see there, is conserving some ERS, preparing for the battle that is going to ensue shortly. And we have a huge yellow flag here coming down into the hairpin. I do believe everybody's okay, as we jump back on with Zamajo coming down through Wall of Champs. Sticking nice and tight to that Haas as he comes down, takes the outside line. Mikal with a very nice line through the inside. Looks like he got the better of that sequence of turns. Custom and Tupaka at the back of the grid now into the pits here on lap 3. Sorry, end of lap 2 for those boys. As this battle between Mikal and Zamajo is currently absolutely stunning. Zamajo currently within less than half of a second of the car in front of him. And we see an overtake from Zamajo. It's the Ferrari taking the outside, getting a clean overtake on Mikal down into the 8-9 chicane. Mikal will be looking to make that up as Falcon is storming down on him. Yoda in P4, BTFU P5 at the moment in the Toro Rosso. Samus behind him, not too far. Little Bear and Henry fighting down into the hairpin. They're catching up with Ricky Ciardo, the Racing Point, and the Williams looking to catch that Red Bull. As it's the Williams, the Red Bull of Sneaky, no DRS here for Sneaky, but Henry and Little Bear most definitely have it, as Henry now looks to catch up to that Racing Point. And he's going to go into the pits. Looks like he may have suffered some damage here. Little Bear still looking to catch up to Ricky in the Red Bull, as Mikal now dropped off the race leader. Samus is fighting BTFU as well. Ooh, a little bit of a slip there on the steering of the Racing Point Little Bear. Sneaky is gaining on him as well. He's going to have to be very careful here not to make any mistakes, as the Dane could come in and swoop up that P8 position. Down into the hairpin, you can see Little Bear here struggling to hold on to the rear of that Red Bull. Chopper's into the hairpin now. He's gaining on Skybits, but he's lost a little bit of time. Slip of the gears there on the turn exit through turn 10. Undertaker with the DRS now, coming down the inside of Chopper's on the back straight. Is he going to get far enough ahead to make a move down here? Oh my God, and it's 3 wide into Wall of Champions. That's Neon Rays and Chopper's coming between, or coming around the outside of Undertaker. Not too sure what to say about that. Not too sure if there was a lot of space. Neon Rays now crossing the curbing, sliding through turn 2 here. Chopper's losing the rear on that Renault, and it's Undertaker's party to crash, as he's now up into P12 once again, looking to retake P11 from Chopper's. Crazy to go 3 wide through Wall of Champions, as we have Little Bear out in front of Falcon now. Falcon had a disconnect from the session now, so he has dropped back quite a few places. And who is that off to the side there? That is Samus, as he's been taken out in the 8-9 chicane. So we'll have to see what happened there post-race. Unfortunately, we missed it on our end. But that's Samus now dropping back out of P5 into P6. Ricky and Little Bear gaining positions on him. Little Bear now with a move on the inside of Ricky, coming down into Wall of Champions. Ricky diving into the pits. That's going to be position 5 for Little Bear now. Sneaky's going to jump into P6 as a result of his teammate jumping into the pits as well. Some of these drivers deciding the softs not going to make it as far as they'd like. Zamajo in a commanding lead of this race at the moment, currently 1.9 ahead of the second position, Mikal. Yoda now in third, 6.2 behind the Haas driver ahead. That rounds off the podium. BTFU, though, catching up to Yoda in that Toro Rosso. BTFU is looking to go on a charge here as he's got DRS through into the 8-9 chicane. Looking to close that gap on the McLaren driver. We'll have to stick along while these guys do battle coming down into turn 10. As I do believe Falcon's returned to his car now. He's fighting with Undertaker. We'll see if we can get a sneak peek on that battle in just a second there as it's Yoda into the pits. Falcon now. Ooh, that's Neon Rays in the Williams, etching out ahead of Falcon here, coming through Wall of Champions. He makes a nice smooth overtake into P9. Falcon not wanting to fight him too hard, and that's Chappers now, the teammate of Falcon, also moving along the Renault driver. As I'm not too sure what's going on with Falcon right now. It's quite possible he may have wing damage on that car. No, it doesn't look like it. So Falcon now unable to keep his front position here in Canada so far. Finn telling me Falcon is still disconnected, so very unfortunate for the Renault driver. That definitely makes a lot of sense. We're not seeing him at his usual pace here, and we can see it there as Henry now in the Williams looks to maintain the charge on P9. Ooh, and there's a big brake check from the Renault of Falcon as the AI in control has slammed the door on the Williams of Henry. Very unfortunate for him. Yoda in 10th now, overtaking Falcon with ease on the fresh mediums. Take a look at the stops here in the session so far. As you can see, the first place through 8th place drivers right now not stopping as Zamajo, Mikal, BTF, and Little Bear all go into the pits. As I say that, Henry and Yoda have already pitted here. Falcon yet to pit, although we may see it from the PC AI control here. No, we don't. Ricky, Sneaky, Custom, Samus, Tupaca, Wadis, and Sanchez have all pitted as well. So it's just Falcon now. Chappers, Neon Rays, Undertaker, and Skybits yet to pit here. Skybits now up into P3 behind his teammate, Mikal. Take a look at the position changes here in the race so far. You can still see Zamajo and Mikal maintain their front row grid positions. Skybits up 9 positions as he is yet to pit. Undertaker up 12, Neon Rays up 8, and Chappers up 11. All drivers yet to pit. Not too many other gains from there. Falcon, though, due to the disconnect, has dropped back 9 places. Wadis and Samus both had contact throughout the opening phase of the race here as well, so they have dropped back 8 places. Very unfortunate to see them where they are. Gap to lead right now is 51 seconds. That is, of course, from P18 to P1. Fastest lap of the race currently held by Zamajo, 111.764. As we jump back into the action here, we can see Chappers is on the back end of some fighting between BTFU and Yoda here. BTFU on fresh mediums, Yoda with the undercut on the 2-lap old mediums now. Chappers on the A-lap old softs looking to keep up. You can definitely see the tire wear starting to play a role for the Renault here. Looking to stay out of the pits as long as he can. BTFU doing everything he can to catch up to that McLaren driver, Yoda. And Yoda on the rear of the Williams Henry as well. Falcon, if you are still in the chat, I will recommend you get an invite back to the session from somebody. Unfortunately, I am unable to do it, but once you do, join the session and spectate your car, and you will be able to retake control. Yoda with a big cut there through the chicane. BTFU gaining with DRS now. Ricky and Little Bear jump up a position as Chappers is into the pits, and he takes a 5-second penalty for speeding. Unless I read that wrong, but I do believe he did. BTFU is just gaining on that McLaren now. He's really wanting that position, as you see Tupac take a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. Ricky into P9 right now for Red Bull, looking to catch up the Toro Rosso counterpart. Not too much action going on track right now as Yoda looks to catch up to Henry, and there's a VSC out on track as Falcon has retired out of the session. Go on board with Sanchez now to see if we can find Falcon's car. Not too sure where he ended up, but that is Falcon out of this session. Ricky into the pits on the VSC, but we are back to green flag racing already here, as you can see Zamajo overtaking that back marker. Macau sticking with Zamajo quite well here. Zamajo very, very quick, but Macau showing everybody that he is quite fast as well, only within a second and a half of the race leader at the moment. Neon Rays looking to make a move on Undertaker, coming down into the hairpin. Battle for 4th position right now. Ooh, big slip at the rear there. A little bit of oversteer. Tries to get things back under control, and that's his teammate Henry with the DRS on Neon Rays. Looks like team orders might come into play here. Looks like Neon Rays may have lifted a little bit. He is on the older tires as Henry moves ahead into P5 through Wall of Champions. Yoda now wheel to wheel with the Williams of Neon Rays. Ooh, almost getting squeezed off there. Yoda has to back off a little bit. Down through 3-4. Yoda being very patient behind the rear of this Williams. Oh, and there's a big slide out from the rear of Neon Rays. Oh my God, an absolute battle here for P6 right now as Neon Rays does everything in his power to try and defend from the monstrous Yoda in the McLaren. Yoda, of course, on the 5-lap old mediums, putting the pressure on Neon Rays tenfold at the moment as we move down into the hairpin. Ooh, trying to make a move around the inside now. He just can't make it stick on that Williams. He is going to have DRS, though. I don't believe Neon's going to. Rear wing wide open now for the McLaren, and this should be a very easy overtake for him as he has now moved ahead of Neon. Neon taking an inside line into Wall of Champions, though. Not able to defend against the absolute speed, blistering speed from that McLaren with the DRS wide open as Yoda looks to hunt down P5 now. That's Undertaker in P5 in the Alfa Romeo ahead, fighting with Henry. As you can see, Yoda is on an absolute charge at the moment. Looking to catch these guys quite quick here on lap 13. And that's BTFU now up ahead of Neon Rays coming down into the 8-9 chicane. BTFU on a charge as well, 5-lap old mediums. Yoda Very close to Undertaker now, down to the hairpin, makes a move down the inside. Is he going to get it done? Oh my God, so tight into the inside curbing there. Undertaker gives him the space. Very nice from Undertaker. It's possible he didn't see Yoda there, but Yoda now up into P5 with a very clean hairpin overtake here on Canada. Love to see it. As Undertaker will look to fight back, coming down through out of Wall of Champions as he decides to pit on the 13-lap-old mediums. Tire wear definitely playing a big role for him there. Little Bear moves up into 8th, Neon into 7th now. BTFU is still 6th, looking to catch up to Yoda. And we saw a shift earlier on with Skybits and Henry. Skybits and Henry battling now. Skybits on the 13-lap-old mids, whereas Henry on the 10-lap-old compound. Skybits looking to rejoin his teammate on the podium positions at the moment. Of course, Skybits is going to have to pit again, and that's Yoda now just taking positions left and right here in Canada as he moves down to the 8-9 chicane out in front of Skybits. Skybits backs off, doesn't want to fight him through that chicane. No way, Jose, as Yoda is now up into P4 on an absolute charge. Now it's the Williams, the next target of attack here for Yoda. Absolute fantastic driving from the McLaren here, really showing where the skill is on the circuit today in the midfield. As he's looking to jump out of that midfield into those top 3 podium positions. Coming through Wall of Champions now, both drivers very clear there. Yoda and Henry, a little bit of contact there. Oh my God. Looks like the wing from Henry and Yoda is clean at the moment. Yoda, though, stretching it out through turn 1, and taking that outside line and getting the move done on that Williams. Very nicely done from the McLaren. Henry now looking to fight back, though. He does have the older compound tires. We'll see if he's able to do anything to catch up to Yoda here. But Yoda is just flying in that McLaren. I can't get over that. Well done to him. As he did take a podium last race, he's looking to repeat that here in Canada. As we have a fight between the Williams and Racing Point of Neon Rays and Little Bear. Neon Rays making it work on the 14-lap-old mediums. He's definitely going to be feeling the wear on those. We'll see if he decides to come into the pits after losing a position to the Racing Point Little Bear. Skybits now being overtaken by BTFU. Looks like the times come to change those tires as he decides to stay out on the mediums. He's not feeling like it's time to change those yet, although he's lost 4 positions. Little Bear and Neon Rays have a collision. It's the Wall of Champions, and there you can see Neon Rays is into the wall, and we have a full safety car here on lap 16. Not too sure what happened there between Neon Rays and Little Bear, but all I can tell you for a fact is Neon Rays found the Wall of Champions quite well. So Neon Rays out of this race for Williams. Fortunately, he can be happy that his teammate is currently running in the top 10, up in 4th. So now the big question is, what do these drivers do? We have a safety car here. Mikiao has opted to move into the pits now. We'll have to see what tires he jumps onto. It's lap 17 out of 35, so we are at the halfway point of this race. He decides to jump onto a fresh set of mediums here as he has a decent lead in that P2 position. Yoda now in the McLaren into the pits. Henry, BTFU, Skybits, and Little Bear all follow suit. Little Bear takes a penalty for speeding under the safety car. Very unfortunate for him. So hopefully he's able to serve that penalty at the end of the safety car. And things have shaken up quite a bit here on the grid as everybody now into the pits. Most of the drivers coming into the pits opting for the hard compound. A couple of drivers went onto the mediums, Little Bear and Mikau among those. Chappers as well. All onto the medium compound tires. Tupaka now out of the session as well. Not too sure what's happened to Tupaka here, as his car is retired. I'm not too sure if he had an incident on circuit or not. But that's now 3 out of the 18 drivers here in Canada out of this race. Sanchez, I do believe you need to overtake that car. He's struggling behind the safety car. Oh, poor Sanchez, as he is now going to move as quickly as he can to get behind the queue. Sneaky on the 11-lap old hards now into P1 here. Could he be up to something, let's say, I don't know, sneaky on the 11-lap old hard compound tires? Could he be looking to make those to the end? It will be very, very difficult, but up into P1, it'll be very, very difficult on that old of a tire to keep Yoda, Henry, Undertaker, Zamajo, and BTFU behind. Of course, Skybits and Mikau among the mix as well, as this grid has taken a massive shaking. Mikau into 8th position right now in the Haas. He'll be looking to go on a charge come restart time, as he was in 2nd position before. Zamajo, he's in the same boat, as he was leading this race earlier on. I'm sure he wasn't too impressed with the safety car either. Safety car going to remain out for another lap here. So that's our 2nd safety car of the session. I have to hand it to our drivers. It's been a fairly clean race so far. Only the one VSC and now the full safety car here at the halfway point in the race. Sanchez, having been the only lap driver here so far, going to have to absolutely gun it to catch up to these guys in that Mercedes. Now, if I had to guess, I'd have to say the hard tire here definitely working in the favor of Henry and Yoda, as Undertaker on the 5-lap old mediums is currently ahead of Zamajo and could pose a little bit of a threat of overtaking, or I should say, pose a threat to the overtaking of P4. And the safety car is coming in this lap, so as Sneaky is in the race lead, he will look to slow the grid right down now, waiting for that car to enter the pits now. Now, if you're Little Bear, who I do believe has or was it Tupaka that took the drive-through penalty? Maybe Tupaka took that drive-through penalty and opted to retire the car, if I am now getting my facts straight. Sneaky coming through all of champions. That safety car is now into the pits. We'll have to wait and see these flags go green here. And we are green racing here in Canada. Sneaky currently in the lead of this race. See Undertaker there under immediate threat from Zamajo. Everybody fairly clean through the restart here as Zamajo. We're going to go on board with him as he's looking to have a charge back into the race lead. Very, very tight to the rear of that Alfa Romeo. Yoda, Henry within 1 second of the race lead now as well. Sneaky going to be struggling to have those tires up to temperature after a restart like that, especially with 13-lap bold degradation. Ooh, Zamajo almost into the rear of Undertaker here as we come down into the hairpin section. Will he be able to make a move? Holds that outside line, takes it down through the inside here. Oh, and Undertaker is able to defend against the monstrous Zamajo in that Ferrari. No DRS here yet as the safety car has only just come in. And we have quite a train forming here behind the Red Bull of Sneaky, but it's Zamajo on the rear of Undertaker now, making a move down the inside of the pit lane, coming down into turn 1. Looks like he's got that move all said and done. Down through turn 2 now, Undertaker looks to catch up a little bit. Sneaky now dropping to Yoda here. Yoda up into the lead of this race. I'm so excited I can't even speak right. This race has been absolutely fantastic. Henry in third right now, looking to catch up the Red Bull as well. But look at the sneaky Ferrari of Zamajo, just saying, oh, hey, how you going? See you later. This is my race to win. I'm coming for you next, Sneaky, as we come down into the 8-9 chicane. And he's going to just take him with ease as well with the 3-lap old mediums. Sneaky unable to catch up to the fast Ferrari. Zamajo having to make up some ground on the McLaren. Now Sneaky looking to stay within the DRS zone of that Ferrari as we move into the first lap of DRS being enabled after the safety car on lap 22 in just a moment. Undertaker, though, he's taking a penalty for cutting the Wall of Champion chicane. Now Henry looking to make a move back on Sneaky here, as Henry is on the better tires at the moment, moving down through turn 2 up into 3-4 now. Henry, you can just tell he has the better traction here as he looks to make a move on Sneaky. He thinks better of it. He falls behind the Red Bull driver, keeping with him carefully here. He is going to have the DRS. Important to take things patient as Zamajo has already caught up to Yoda. Yoda, oh my God, look at Zamajo fly on those medium tires. They are, of course, the faster tire here. He's made that position work as Henry is still on the rear of Sneaky. BTFU. Have we had an accident here? I do believe it is Samus and his teammate Undertaker, perhaps with an issue. Maybe just Undertaker as Skybits now overtakes Custom out of the hairpin. Custom looking to make a move back now around the outside of Skybits. He does have the DRS. I do believe both drivers have the DRS. They do. The Mercedes currently a little bit further ahead of Skybits, moving into Wall of Champions. Skybits has the inside line, and he etches ahead of the Mercedes driver. Crazy wheel-to-wheel action there from the Haas and Mercedes. Waitis watching all of this unfold as well in the Toro Rosso. Tons of action here after the safety car restart. Mikkel has dropped back into 12th now in that Haas. He's going to be looking to make up quite a large amount of time here as he has fallen way off of the front race positions. Of course, 13 laps to go here. He has quite some time to do it. Ricky now in P9 looking to catch up to the Toro Rosso of Waitis. And we have a yellow flag through Sector 3. Not too sure what happened there. Might be the Mercedes of Sanchez. As the DRS train is in full swing, all of these drivers from 4th through into P10, all within just a few seconds of one another. Henry still sticking to the rear of that Red Bull light glue. Sneaky gonna have to pit sooner or later here. You can see how much speed he's lost on those hards to Henry. Sneaky opting to stay out here on lap 24. Henry now up into P3. Chappers takes a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, we are here, Formula 1 2019 on PC. This is MRL Season 2, round number 2. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. Skybits under threat from Custom here, as Custom with the DRS looks to come and attack through down into 8-9. Keeps behind the rear of that Haas. As you can see, both drivers have their wings fully intact coming around the hairpin there. We'll go on board with Custom as he looks to try and make a move with DRS on Skybits here in the back straight of Sector 3 on lap 24. Zamajo absolutely flying on those mediums as he's now pulled out 4 seconds on our second place driver, Yoda. We'll check back in with Custom in just a moment as we look to switch over to Mikau. Mikau is charging. He's just overtaken Chappers. He's on the hards. And there's Sanchez into the wall out of turn 2. Could be just pulling over for the blue flag. Very nice of him to do that in the wall like that. Mikau 5.1 behind the points right now. Custom now dropping back off the rear of Skybits. With that being said, though, Skybits and BTFU about to do battle, but BTFU is already busy fighting with Sneaky. Sneaky still running on those very, very old hard tires in 4th at the moment. He's pushing the entire grid back by defending that position right now, which is very, very good for Henry, Yoda, and Zamajo. As you can see, he's just got an absolute drop of speed there. And he continues on through the Wall of Champions. I am shocked that we haven't seen a pit stop from him yet. Looks like he could be going the distance at this point. Skybits, though, with a very, very easy overtake on Sneaky down through into turn 1. He's going to make that stick. He just has far more traction than the Red Bull driver. Stay on board with Sneaky for a second, though, as he'll like to make a switchback. Custom is watching this unfold. Custom takes a 3-second time penalty for cutting the 6-7 chicane there. DRS is open, though. Hopefully he's able to catch up to Sneaky. Ricky Ciardo in P8, also on the very old hard compound tires. Skybits looking to catch up to the Toro Rosso of BTFU now, as this is a battle for P4. With the DRS coming down the back sector 3 straight now into 13-14. Ooh, and there's Sneaky. He's spun. The tire wear is paying a huge. Oh my God, the tire wear. 19 lap old hards, and he's had a spin. Virtual safety car for these drivers here on lap 27. Chappers into the pits at what could be a very, very good time. Sneaky not going to be happy about that, as he is going to have massive wing damage, as you can see there on the front left of that Red Bull. And he's going to be dropping positions like crazy now come the restart after this VSC. Samus into 9th. He's currently 2.6 off of Waitis on the same length of life tire. Mikau in P11 overtakes Sneaky. Or sorry, overtakes... I believe that was a back marker. Is that a back marker? Anyway, Mikau passes Sneaky on the restart. Like I said, Sneaky's going to be dropping places like crazy. He's most definitely going to have to pit here. Mikau comfortably up into the points now as he looks to regain a good position here. Sneaky, we'll see what he's able to do here as he comes down the back straight. We'll see if he decides to go into the pits. I do believe he will. And he does. Slowing things right down. Samus into the pits as well. What's he going to do? He is looking like he's going on mediums. Samus onto the mediums. Sneaky onto the softs. Little Bear passing the both of them. Waitis catching up to Ricky. Ricky catching up to Custom, and Custom dropping back behind Skybits now. Skybits still fighting with BTFU. BTFU dropping behind Henry just a little bit. Skybits with that DRS is starting to smell a podium as P3 is only a second and a half away. Not too sure what happened to Mikau there, as he was in second for the longest time here, now having dropped back into ninth. We'll have to stick with him through the race to see how he ends up. Custom very, very close with Ricky, and Waitis watching all of it unfold from behind now as Custom looks to make a move on Ricky here on lap 29. Keep in mind, all of these drivers, if not most of these drivers, have time penalties as a result of corner cutting and exceeding track limits. So these things can definitely play a role in such a tight race come the finish. With only 6 laps to go here, Waitis putting Custom under a very, very good threat. As you can see, Custom trying to save some battery here. Waitis on a charge in that Toro Rosso. He wants points. He wants to get near his teammate. He wants a good haul of points for the constructor here, and he might just get it if he's able to overtake the Mercedes in front of him. Now, if you've been watching the times, as I have, you'll know that Mikau's already taken 2.5 seconds out of Waitis inside of the last lap, meaning that he is absolutely flying on those 11-lap-old hards. Mikau looking like he's going to be the driver to watch near the end of this race here, as he's absolutely charging through the pack. Waitis, though, still looking to get things done on the Mercedes of Custom, coming through the 6-7 chicane. You can see Mikau behind the Toro Rosso just rounding turn 7 there as well. He's going to be joining the action very, very soon. Waitis with the DRS, not quite able to get it done on Custom. Tries to move around the outside, and there's Waitis into the wall. Mikau gonna catch up a very large amount here. Waitis looks like he kept things clean. No wing damage, fortunately, for the Toro Rosso driver, as he looks to continue his hunt for P7. Mikau, though, we're gonna jump on board with him, as he's gonna have DRS on both of these guys. Could we see a double overtake here coming down into 13-14? It's risky. He is gonna get out in front. Oh my God, 3 wide here going into turn 13 and 14. Waitis lost out on that one. Mikau with the DRS on Custom, gonna fly right ahead of the Toro Rosso here. Mikau down into turn 1. He's absolutely on a charge in the Haas. Of course, the Ferrari-powered engine carrying him along down through sector 1 now into 3-4. Is he going to be able to make an overtake up into 6-7 here? 5 here. Now turn 6. And turn 7. Custom dropping back behind Ricky. 2.8 seconds. Mikau definitely going to be able to make a move here with DRS. He's quite close. He's going to take the outside line. Custom not fighting him too hard. He takes the inside. Mikau, though, look how far out in front Mikau came on the exit of that turn. If that doesn't show you he's on the hunt, I don't know what else does. Custom, though, trying to keep tight to the rear Mikau. You can see Mikau is blinking there, so he is saving energy, or using energy, I should say. Or he... I should just not look at the lights, as Mikau was, of course, tuning down his engine through the turn, ramping it back up, and I just caught him on camera at the worst possible times. Mikau 2.9 behind Ricky. Skybits holding on to BTFU just so carefully here. He's within less than a second of the Toro Rosso driver coming through the 3-4 chicane. Could be that he's just patiently waiting behind BTFU, slowly applying pressure, waiting for a good moment to strike. But pretty soon they're going to have to get on with it, because they're going to come under threat from the very, very quick Mikau looking to join his teammate shortly as we have 3 laps left to go here as Zamajo is flying down the back straight now in sector 3. So he's about to cross into lap 33. Sanchez not having the race he wanted to have here as we have a sector 3 and 2 yellow flag. Chappers out of this race after disqualification. Not too sure what happened to the Renault driver, but it's a very unfortunate finish for Renault as Skybits now, ooh, he pushes BTF into a corner cut, but no penalty for BTF there. He is going to have the DRS moving ahead of the Toro Rosso here into turn 1. BTF not fighting him just yet, but I can almost guarantee there is going to be a switchback between these 2 drivers for a couple of laps as they fight for P4 here. Hopefully BTFU is able to get back within a close time of the Haas driver. Ricky Ciardo a second behind watching all that action unfold, and Mikal is just storming down through the circuit now as he's within 1 second of the Red Bull in P6. As we're hearing from race control, Chappers was disqualified for too many penalties cutting corners here in Canada. Very unfortunate for him. Mikal down into the turn 10 hairpin now. Ricardo off a little wide there on the exit. Mikal gaining even more time here. He is going to have DRS on the Red Bull. He is on the 15-lap old hards versus the 22-lap old hards. As we are already on the penultimate lap here. It is lap 34 out of lap 35. Both Haas drivers in the fight for positions at the moment. Skybits, though, taking a 3-second time penalty. Ricky dropping back behind the Haas driver Mikal's teammate. And here we have Mikal in the Haas with the DRS very tight to the rear of that Red Bull, making a move down the inside, down into the 8-9 chicane. We see the Haas pull very far out in front of the Red Bull here. Ricky choosing not to battle wheel to wheel through that one. Very nice and clean racing from him. Mikal now on to catch his teammate as we see BTFU and Skybits battling. Skybits has a little bit of a slip there into the wall there. He is going to let his teammate by. Very nice and clean driving from the Haas squad. Not something we see very often given the championship. Excuse me. Now Ricky, though, ahead of Skybits coming down through 13-14. Mikal currently 1.5 behind the Toro Rosso of BTFU, who has looked like he's taken a comfortable position in 4th. Now looking to catch up with Henry in the Williams. We are on the last lap of this race here in Canada. Zamajo with a 20-second lead over P2 right now. He is absolutely flying on those medium tires. Not a care in the world for the Ferrari driver. Nothing but clean air for him as he is now coming down the last sector here on the final lap in Canada. That is, of course, Zamajo winning here in Canada. Yoda will look to take P2. Henry is so far looking like he'll get a P3. Remember, penalties are going to come into play here as now Mikal coming down through the final section with DRS. Looks to make a move on the Toro Rosso of BTFU. He has one more straight to make an overtake here. Mikal, no, takes a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings through the wall of champions, but he does, in fact, jump into P4. Henry drops out of P3 into P5. BTFU with a podium here in Canada. That's Zamajo, Yoda, and BTFU rounding off your podium here. Finishing out round 2 of the MRL. Mikal in 4th. Not the race result I'm sure he wanted to have, but a good haul of points for Haas regardless, as his teammate Skybits is in 6th. You can see the Williams of Henry in 5th there. Ricky in 7th. Custom 8th, and Mercedes Samus finishes 9th with 2 points in the Alpha, with Waitis rounding off the top 10 in the Toro Rosso, claiming 1 point. So 18 drivers began the race here, but it comes down to the top 10, of course, for points. Zamajo with the biggest haul of points here, looking like he also clocked the fastest lap of this campaign, a 110.852. He takes the win in the Ferrari. Yoda, second place. He started fourth in the McLaren. Very nice from him. BTFU jumps up a couple slots into third. Very nice podium performance by him. As you can see, as I'm going down the race director here, a lot of these drivers with a lot of penalties. Mikhail takes fourth in the Haas. Henry fifth in the Williams. Skybits sixth in the Haas. Ricky Ciardo finishes seventh. A very nice finish from the Red Bull driver of Ricky as he started ninth, moving up into seventh. We saw a crazy performance from him last week as well. Custom, very good performance from him in the Mercedes. He moves up from 15th up into P8. Samus into ninth, back from seventh. So not the result I'm sure he was expecting to have here in Montreal. Waitis, P10, the French driver in the Toro Rosso, started eighth. Little Bear is 11th. He started 11th, so he maintains his starting position here. Sneaky started 10th. He drops back a couple slots. And then Undertaker in 12th.